And we are live. Welcome to Stock Talk.
Okay, so he's gonna take my everything, my jazz, my everything.
Take it all from you, man.
Okay,
Top
but
to
no, for
bottom.
real.
Welcome to Stock Talk with Nico Kritikos and Josh Beaudry. You can now find our podcast on all podcast platforms out there by searching Stock Talk with Josh and Nico. We made sure to shorten the name so it's easier to find for you guys. So
Yeah, you know, our names is like large. So you say mine is Beaudry, but a lot of people don't even know how to spell it. And plus yours, I don't even know how to spell your last name. So plus your first name is kind of weird, but Niko. But
It's pretty unique.
yeah,
exactly.
Niko. That's hard to spell.
That's different.
it is different. It is
You'll
different.
like that.
But we do have a guest on episode 27. Is this episode
This
27?
is
y'all?
27.
So yes,
Lucky
we
number 27.
yes for you. Is that your favorite number?
Yeah, actually it is. Oh, it really is. That's crazy.
You and Chris move. You
I'm
know.
so serious. Number 27 and number 21.
Okay.
Huge stun. We have a problem. Josh knows the vibes.
Yes, I do know the
knows
vibes.
the
But
vibes.
yes, to my right and Nico's left, we are joined today by our good friend and friend of the show, Nick Sims. Round of applause. Nick, how you doing today?
I'm all right. Thank you guys for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here, of course, of course.
Yeah, good to see you. No, this is kind of, I think Nico texts you about maybe 2-3 hours
Yeah.
ago. So just say, hey, just show up and hey, you're here.
Yeah. He's been playing with me, though. Like, he hit me up like a couple weeks ago, and then he flaked on me, man. It's
Did-
like,
did-
never
what-
mind,
did I
bro. You're
cancel?
Yeah, you
Okay,
did.
then that means we must have had somebody else scheduled. Then.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's crazy. Feelings are a little hurt, a little heartbroken, but you know we're here now, so everything will be okay.
Yeah. But let's start with some background information
Yeah.
around you. So you did go to Purdue Northwest. So tell us
Mhm.
about your experience there.
Yeah, so I started at Purdue Northwest back in 2016.
Old.
Originally,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
originally I started high school back in Chicago. That's where I'm from. So I transferred my junior year to Morton. I started in Keene College Prep. It was a selective enrollment school. Then I transferred out here to Morton, and then eventually they led me to Purdue. But yeah, started in 2016. I just graduated last year. I graduated with 2 bachelor's degrees, one in accounting and one in marketing. Did a couple of programs up there with a couple of my colleagues and peers. One was Brother to Brother. I was a secretary. I'm charged of making flyers, making sure that a lot of the events that we organized were set in place and straightforward. The organization itself, was like a subsidiary from the Black Student Union. So it was basically a safe haven for black, and brown students to, feel included and make sure that they have a place they can call home if anything, goes wrong, whether that's studying or extracurricular activities, any events or any things like that, to not only make them stand out from the crowd in the job search and get some good things on their resume, but just to find a family and network with people in college. So
Okay,
Yeah.
so we got your school background all settled, but I want to know what got you into the market exactly? Did you see the stuff with Dogecoin? Like, oh, let me jump on Doge. Or you got any other type of story?
I mean, yeah. I mean, it really started. I was talking with Nico about it earlier. It really started with shoes for me. So that's been something I've been really into since, I don't know, maybe since about 2012 when I was a freshman in high school. I was really into that
okay.
since I was like 14. So I'm old now. I'm an old man. You guys keep joking with me. Maybe 24 later on this year. But yeah, for about like 10 years, I've really been into that.
I can't even say you're old because I just turned to 22.
Oh, you're a baby, man. Come on now, bro. You got to get like me, man.
Yeah, a year is a big difference. but-
Yeah. But yeah, so I went from that, and that kind of just, the domino effect, how things go. You get interested in other avenues. So I did peek into Dogecoin back in like November of 2020. So that's when I first discovered it on Twitter. It was it's just every opportunity that I had, bro, I passed on it, man. Like from the onset when it was below a penny. And it was 0.0008, and I didn't know anything about Robinhood, Coinbase. I didn't know anything about crypto. Just a lot of people in the sneaker community were talking about, oh, we're gonna take Dogecoin to the moon, and I was like, what in the world is Dogecoin? So then that happened, and then you had the whole fiasco with GameStop. Had another situation passed on that, and then obviously with Dogecoin taking off with Elon Musk and him tweeting it out. I think last year in March, if I'm not mistaken, and then I bought into it at the worst possible time, literally the day before he did his SNL skit. And I put like 400 into it. I was like, oh, man, it's going to hit $1. And the next day it dropped in like half, and I lost all my money.
Oh,
So
my
Oh,
God.
man.
my track record with crypto and stocks isn't the best, but, with shoes, it's impeccable. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, my story about Dogecoin is a little bit funny, too, because I probably would have been a millionaire
Oh, man.
if I sold it, if I did not listen to Nico's advice. I
Mhm.
sold it like a week too early.
What did you tell him?
I said it's risky, and I said it could go back to zero. I said just because everyone's hyping it up doesn't mean it's for sure going to hit $1. And I'm like, Josh, if I were you, I would not be invested in something like that. So he sold it.
I could have been on an island.
He could have been in the Maldives right now, chilling.
I could have had my
Caked
own
up.
island Josh.
No,
Man.
no. You would have had like an extra $50 in your account or something. Like
You would have had gas money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you're right. Definitely gas money.
Gas money for sure.
But you talked about your shoes. So
Yeah.
you do have a company, shall you say, called Dicey Kicks.
Mhm.
So tell us more about that too.
Yeah, and it's funny you bring that up because actually, what's today again? Like the 26th?
28th, I think.
28. No.
26. Oh my God. I'm
20.
going too
It's like
fast.
you're living in the future, man.
But it will be out on this podcast. Will be out on.
Yeah, I
28th.
got you. He jumped the gun a little bit with
Yeah.
that one, but yeah, no, actually, my 1 year anniversary just passed with my
Oh,
business.
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, so I started last year. I'm on Instagram. Well, actually, I started my Instagram last year, I should say. I really began from Facebook, from the marketplace. That's
Okay.
really where a lot of things took off for me, and it was real hard, with any business or anything that you try to get going yourself. It wasn't really. I didn't have anyone with me. All of this is, just me, myself, and I, just through trial and error, figuring things out, testing things out to see if it works, if it doesn't work. But yeah, went from Facebook Marketplace, had to build my own following from there. Got a decent amount of people who recognize me and, recognize my name. And, the style of which I started posting things is really what got me kind of noticed. Because I noticed a lot of people would post things and it just be, just the shoe itself or in their hand or, something just random. So I would go outside and take pictures in my grass because I thought that would just be a better background and that would make it pop and, be distinguishable when you're scrolling through and you see that prominent, just grass in the
Right.
background, the way that I lay the shoes
Oh
out.
yeah, I
So,
see it now. Yeah.
yeah, so
I see,
with
that's
that
cool.
format, I went from there, and then it took me a minute to actually start my Instagram. I was a little afraid, as most business owners are. Failure was obviously a big thing that kind of deterred me from wanting to start it because the whole thing I was in my own head. I was like, oh man, what if I start and it doesn't work, or what if I get it off the ground and no one messes with it? But you just got to be persistent and just keep going with it. And here we are a year later. I don't have the biggest of following, but I do prioritize organic growth and loyal customers or consumers over, artificially inflating your numbers just to make it seem like you're doing something you're not.
Such as bots.
Yeah.
Have you paid for any advertisements?
No, I've never done any promotion, any advertisement through Instagram. I've never asked anyone for a shout out, nothing like that. Everything is just strictly word of mouth and just organic posts. So
Yeah.
it'll sell. How I would do it is like if before I started when I first started Instagram, how I started getting a lot of the following, because you see I got like 285 posts. So anything I would sell through Facebook, I chop it up with that person. I'm like, hey, can you make sure you leave me a review? So you can see your reviews in the marketplace through Facebook. So I'll be, oh, make sure you leave me a review. Tell your friends about me and whatnot. And then I'll be like, hey, make sure you follow my Instagram. And then, I send it to them and be like, oh, can you click on, this post? This is my reference post. Make sure you leave a like or a comment. And that's just kind of like how you started trickling. Very rarely do I post on Facebook now, which is kind of funny. I should probably get back to it, especially since it's getting a little brighter outside.
And especially it's like because you started off with Facebook too. So
obviously.
you kind of want to alienate.
Yeah,
the
I
people that,
don't want to just let go of that platform because that's the one that started it all for me. But yeah, nowadays I just post on I just post on Instagram, and back in the day it'd take me months or some time to sell something on Facebook. I could post something in one day on Instagram and have people lined up to buy it from me that same day.
Have you tried selling on eBay?
I did. Never shoes. I know that you can. I know eBay started the whole authenticity program that they got because before it was pretty difficult to sell on eBay.
Okay, what
Yeah.
about StockX?
Yeah, I do sell on StockX. I'm not too big of a fan, as I'd rather have, obviously cash in hand. Cash is king.
Yeah.
So, and anything to do with selling through a medium that they're gonna take a cut. So I
Right.
try to
That
keep
is true.
as much profit as possible because I used to sell through Mercari as well. That was something that I was doing during the Facebook days back in like 2018, 2019. When I wasn't taking it as serious, it was just like a one-off thing. I come home or, oh, I got these, let me make a little bit of money or something like that. I don't want to return them to the store. I'll just sell them through here. So, but I've definitely tested out a lot of different ones. OfferUp I've done, Mercari. I kind of don't really like the use of Mercari. I'm not bashing them or anything, but since they gain more popularity, they have a lot more processing fees and.
So that's the same thing as like a GOAT and a StockX too.
Yeah, similarly, but it's not just limited to shoes.
Okay, so
So it was
It's like
just
it could be a shirt too. I want to
yeah,
sell
it's
things
it
like
could be
that.
like
anything.
eBay. Yeah, it could
It's
be
like
anything.
eBay or Facebook Marketplace. It's like
Okay.
eBay, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Let Go, and that was still a thing before OfferUp bought them. But yeah, that whole shebang, that whole avenue of just secondary marketplace apps and stuff like that. So yeah.
Very nice.
So overall, how do you think the sneaker industry is going to go, like as of right now? So we've kind of heard the big news. Nike is dominating. I even seen that Kobe Bryant's wife as well has a new deal went in place with Nike too. So
Yeah,
you think that's going to affect the not really Nike, but the sneaker industry as a whole?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because beforehand, I know they were in talks because the contract after Kobe sadly passed away 2 years ago, his contract ended.
Yeah.
And a lot of the shoes they were releasing, his wife was trying to stop them because she wanted them to be massively available. Because on the secondary market, simple supply and demand.
Exactly.
If you have high demand, especially after someone's passing, the value of those items are going to skyrocket, triple, and sometimes even quadruple or even more than that in value. So over that short period of time, you've seen a lot of his sneakers, which were selling for virtually nothing.
Yeah, like 140 at
Like
the most.
140, $150 became $600, $800, $1,000 items within a week's time frame. So she was kind of going back and forth with them and trying to, produce more. But I'm not too sure the intricacies of the dealings between the two. But I know they were releasing a couple of his most popular shoes in like really low quality. I mean, not quality quantities. And nah, I mean, we could talk about quality if we want to, because that's also another thing.
Well, then let's talk about quality then.
Yes,
Yeah,
I mean,
actually, we've brought this up before, trying to figure out what's the difference between a shoe that sells for a bunch of money versus versus a shoe that doesn't sell for a bunch of money, and what is the quality difference between those two?
I mean, it's basically the same thing if you want to equate it to cars or anything that's valuable in life. It's just the brand
name?
itself is just the name. So
Yeah.
Nike, since it's been a mainstay for like the last like almost 40 years, I could say even more than that, within the sports industry, is just the name itself, man. And then you got the athletes that are associated, or even artists. You got rappers like Kanye West, like his Nike Air Yeezys from like 2012 when he did his collab, for like $10,000 pair of shoes. And when those came out, that was like $250 back in like 2012, 2011, which was unheard of for shoes. So
now, Kanye has Adidas.
Now.
no,
too,
yeah,
right?
now, but back then when
yeah.
he was in contract with them, like it's just hype, man. You know what I'm saying? So like hype is as well as just the man behind the machine. So
You can do a lot of things with people behind you.
yeah. So and then if you get the right people, like you seen what happened with Travis Scott recently. Like Travis Scott, I think before obviously what happened, and people started distancing themselves from the Astroworld tragedy. But prior to that, man was on fire, bro. He had deals with McDonald's. You had people lining up out of McDonald's just to get this man's
Just to get his
meal,
meal, right?
bro.
That was a good meal.
People over here fighting for T-shirts is working at McDonald's because people were reselling the shirts for like $200, man. So it's the same thing, man. It's just hype, the name of the brand, and that's really what brings people to it. 9 times out of 10, yeah. If it is something like a collab like that, if you get a Nike shoe from Shoe Carnival compared to getting from their sneakers app, and it's like a Travis Scott shoe, the quality on that is gonna be way, like a lot different, vastly different than something you pay $30 for.
Yeah, right.
At like a Shoe Carnival or run of the mill Payless or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, the other thing we brought up earlier was how Nike in relation to Foot Locker, and like how important is Nike to Foot Locker, and how important is Foot Locker to Nike. So what do you think about that?
Oh yeah. So I mean, like Josh and you also said earlier, Foot Locker's stock has cut in half recently. It definitely plummeted. It might be lower than what it was prior a month ago or a couple weeks back, but yeah, essentially, Nike has decided to going forward, it'll pull a lot of its stock that they send to other third-party stores, and they'll go strictly from business to consumer. And that's because a lot of people were complaining that their sneakers app or their Nike app, like the odds are basically insurmountable and it's impossible for you to purchase a shoe. And with the way the reselling industry is, or the secondary market with shoes, it's virtually impossible for a casual or a novice to something like that if you're not having the connections that someone like an experienced reseller would have just to get shoes at a retail price.
Okay, let me ask you this: Do you think there's a situation? Can you picture a situation where Nike starts making more and more shoes and more products in order to keep up with that demand, and then the prices of these products aren't as high as they are now?
No. And I feel like even if they were to increase quantity of the items that are being made, demand is always going to be there because it'll never be enough. You can never produce enough Jordan 1s. You can never produce enough, Travis Scott shoes. Obviously, scarcity is what gives them value, but not everyone's going to be able to get their hands on them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like I was telling Josh earlier, there was a release that just happened the other day for a pair of Jordan 3s that are really popular. Like, cream and neutral colors is like all the craze right now. So you had a pair of those come out, and it's like you got over hundreds of thousands of people trying to get that shoe, and there's only like 49,000 pairs available. So as long as there's people who want shoes, that they'll never be able to make enough to like satisfy
the demand.
Right.
Well, this is a great conversation that we're having, but we're going to have a quick break. We got to pay the bills here at Jet TV Network. But you are listening to Stock Talk with Josh and Nico on the Jet TV Network. Hey, y'all, we are back here on the Stock Talk with Josh and Nico. So we were having a great conversation about Foot Locker, but we also want to start talking more about what is Foot Locker at right now, Nico?
So Foot Locker stock is today $30 a share. This is down 45% in the last year. And
what was it 3 months ago?
it topped out in last May at $66 a share.
Okay.
So today it's 30. It's less. It's got cut by over 50%, and it's now trading at a $3 billion market cap.
Jesus.
Because they will not be selling as many Nike products in store as they once did before.
Growing up, I always wanted to work at Foot Locker because of what's that one movie, Lottery Ticket?
Yeah.
I always wanted to work at Foot Locker.
Or Bow Wow.
For the Nike shoes, everything, but hey.
Yeah, but the crazy part is I think financially this has been Foot Locker's best year because of, the pandemic and everything going on.
Yeah.
They implemented a new program called the Flex program, which all of their stores, including Foot Locker, Kids Foot Locker, Champs, East Band Foot Action, which is crazy because East Band Foot Action actually went out of business. So now the only ones they have left are just Foot Locker, or they're going out of business, I should say. They should be out of the door by the end of this year, but the only thing they have left is just Foot Locker, Kids Foot Locker, and then Champs. And this year was like their best year financially in maybe a decade or something, because how obviously you had the pandemic, and then you had stimulus checks and the PPP loans and then the grants, and then you have the demand for shoes still being there, and shoes that would be sitting on shelves had this been like 3 years ago are selling double the price just because it was harder for people to go out of their homes and get certain pairs. But yeah, basically they had a program implemented. It's like the more you spend, the more likely you are to get shoes when they do raffles or releases. So they had an incentive program for people to go out and purchase as many shoes as possible. So I do find that to be pretty interesting that after their best financial year, at the end of it, you have your biggest partner pull their product from yourselves.
Right.
Because they're kind of focusing on like I said previously, a more business to consumer approach.
Yeah.
Because of the outcry and the outrage that people get on every sneaker release that comes every Saturday. I'm pretty sure Josh knows.
Every day is something.
Are you saying
for
that,
me too?
Are you saying by Nike eliminating Foot Locker, that means that this is going to be more fair for the consumer to have a chance at getting the sneakers? Is that what you're saying?
In theory, yeah, it should, because it'll allocate it more to their app. So if it's not spread out and there's not like an incentive situation if you look at it like anything like video games, right? If there are certain games that are buy to win, that was basically a buy to win program put in place. Like whoever spent the most money is going to get all the shoes.
Yeah, right.
So if you're a kid and you're like 15 years old and your account only has like 10,000 points, I think for each dollar you spend you get like 100 points or something. Something like that. Like on my account I have like 1.5 million. That's like $15,000 spent.
Wow.
I know kids with 20 million, 30 million, 40 million points on their accounts. And that was before they reversed the algorithm, so now people with lower accounts win now.
Oh.
Okay.
But since now Foot Locker doesn't have Nike products, or they're not going to have them in the future, very rarely are they posting like stuff that they used to.
I see.
So now it's going back to their apps, so that'll draw people back to it, because now it's an even playing field. It's no longer like first come first serve or a pay to win. It's all random. It's a draw.
I see.
So a lizard game will ruin that real quick.
Yeah.
So okay. So how do you
Anonymous.
think that's going to affect somebody like you and the people that do what you do, selling sneakers?
I don't think it'll affect me or the people that I deal with, because at the end of the day it's still about who you know. So I mean that's just one avenue, and like even when one door closes, another one opens. Like before, Finish Line used to be like that used to be the haven, but then
I remember.
Like they shut it down, and then they didn't let you do duplicates, or you couldn't do have multiple people pick up things for you. Then people switch to Foot Locker, and then they switched over, and then they got rid of 2 other companies. So, man, with any realm you're in business, like, you're gonna have to adapt and actually, like, really, like, buckle down and, like, change. Because if you don't, you're gonna get left with the times. But anyone who's really situated in the realm or the subculture itself will be fine, because you don't have to solely get your shoes from a retail store. You can buy them off people. You can purchase in bulk. You can do trades. You can do a consignment. It's all types of different options and variations that the public may not be too well versed on. But as long as you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's, you'll be perfectly fine.
So what shoes do you usually sell the most out of?
Jordans, 100% Jordans. Not only are they easier to get than Yeezys,
It's true.
Like, it's a whole lot easier to get Jordans than Yeezys. It's just like it's Michael Jordan, man. It's like that's obviously been the focal point since 1985. Look, the Last Dance on this shit. Oh, that's another, like, dude. When the Last Dance dropped in 2020,
It went
every pair of Jordans that came out doubled and tripled.
Really?
I had because it's crazy. Right before that in 2019, that fall semester, I was buying real heavy. I was buying all types of stuff. I was like, oh, I want this Jordan one. I want that one. I want that one. Because, I was a collector first. With anything you do, you love it first before you start making money from it. That's really how you start getting good at something and actually profiting from. You got to love it. So it was, like, obviously a deep passion of mine. So I'm buying up every Jordan one I possibly can. I'm talking about stuff for, like, $200, $220, $400 maybe.
Yeah.
Like, it's stuff I paid $200 for that's worth, like, $700 now. Or
wow.
Stuff I paid $500 is, like, $1,300 now.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Same thing with, like, I'm not too well versed in stocks, but I know the way I sell shoes, I like to hold. So I invest in something at buy low, sell high. I'll invest in something as much as I possibly can.
He's a long-term investor.
I'm
That's
definitely
right,
a long-term
that's
investor. I'm not too. I mean, because I feel like you have to do both. So if you want to build capital, you should do short-term. You shouldn't invest in anything if you don't have the capital to sustain it.
Yeah.
So now that I have the capital to do so. Back then when I was, purchasing all of those things, now I have items that I could go sell for, triple the price or triple the value. And you survive off of those quick flips. Like the Jordans I was talking about that are really popular that I sell more frequently, there will be like general release because the public, there will be most popular, like whatever releases that week, say that Saturday, say some Jordan 4s come out. I'll get a couple, I'll sell a couple and then stash the rest away. So in like a month, like 5 months time, instead of them selling for $300, they're a $500 pair of shoes.
Okay, let me ask you this. So when you see, let's say you see the new, let's say Nike's coming out with a new pair of shoes, how do you know which ones are going to be ones that are a good investment and which ones do you stay away from?
You just go off history. Whatever is really popular in the market. I mean, the same way with stocks. If you got to look at economic wise, you got to look at pop culture. You got to look at where people are spending their money. Like you see, inflation is a thing. Like a lot of people used to resell Air Force Ones, but now Air Force Ones went from $90. Now they're $100. So I mean, that's a $10 difference, and it may not sound that crazy to regular consumers, but as a reseller, $10 is a lot.
It's a lot for me.
That's a lot. So like,
it's a lot for me.
Say like you buy 10 pairs, it's $900. Now it's like you're spending $1,000, and then instead of you selling like buying at $90 and selling for $160, you're buying it at $100, and now you got to sell them at $140 or something like that, because people may not be wanting to spend that extra dollar because of it. But yeah, I mean, inflation has definitely been a big thing. I know later on this year, they're increasing the prices of Jordan 1s. Again, like every year they have been increasing to try to kill the margins of resellers. But as long as there's a valuable product, you'll never be able to kill the resale market unless they just astronomically just raise the prices and flood them. But I don't think that'd be a good business move for them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's usually how it goes. So, yeah, I don't see that being a thing. Inflation is obviously a key component to a lot of the way pricing is now. So, but yeah.
Very interesting. Okay, next thing we want to bring up is how the market's been acting lately, both with stocks and with crypto.
Well, let's first start with crypto because that's like the most positive news.
Okay.
Okay, so crypto has been going up. Bitcoin is like back at around the 44, 45 range.
Every other day I see it fluctuate, man. It was like down 6%, then it's up 7%.
Yeah. Let's see, it's over the past couple of months it normally tops out right around 44, 45. And so we'll see what happens. Is it going to go back down to 38, or can it go back to 50? So
I want 50 because I brought it at like 49.
definitely was at 60 back in like November or something, man.
Yeah.
Yes, it was around
That was like
60.
its all-time high, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have Ethereum. Ethereum is acts pretty similar to Bitcoin,
The legend itself.
and Ethereum is now at $3,100.
Ooh, it went down.
So pretty similar to Bitcoin. But yeah, I own both of them, and yeah, I would like to buy some more, but I've spent all my money on stocks the last couple months, so I don't have any money left.
But besides just regular stocks, a lot of them are going back up a little bit.
A lot of them are recovering.
Roblox I bought in at like 60, went all the way
Really?
down to like halfway cut.
Yeah,
Almost, but now it's back to like 44ish, 48ish.
Okay.
So it's
and
going back up a little bit.
a lot of tech stocks are slowly coming back. I think the strongest industry out there is oil. I think I own 2 oil stocks, and those are probably the best performers of the last 3 to 6 months.
Well, yeah, look at the prices. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
Man, gas almost $5 a gallon, man. It takes me like $40 for half a tank now.
I
bro.
know,
Yeah.
It's
I know,
ridiculous.
it's bad. So, and I mean, I've heard some people say they think it's gonna, because if you go to like some of the cities like Chicago, or if you look at LA and stuff, it is $6 and stuff like that. So it's possible. I mean, maybe it gets to $6 by us, but I feel like, I don't know. I sure
I
hope that
doubt it
doesn't
in the
happen.
Midwest.
Yeah, I don't know about
I don't
that.
think so. It'll probably top out like in the. I don't see it hopefully going past 540.
I don't think. I
Or
say
even
under
5,
5.
even
Yeah, I
that.
say under 5.
But I don't know. I was by my house the other day. It was 455.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
And this is Indiana. My friend, he lives in Joliet, and he said gas was 430. So I'm like, I
Oh.
don't know, man. Getting a little risky.
Now,
out
see,
there.
when I was in Nashville last week,
Mhm.
and down all throughout Kentucky and Tennessee, gas was about 380, 390. So it was a little bit.
But it's
bit low.
Tennessee though.
I know, but still.
But Nashville is becoming a lot more people are moving to
Yeah.
Nashville, so that's one thing. But you
That's
know,
where you go to retire, man. I'm
exactly down in Florida. But I think the gas should like go down a little bit more, like around July, August.
Oh yeah.
Over
So
summer.
when the summer's closing down, so
Mm-hmm.
because usually even though gas was high like in last couple of weeks, it's usually at the highest per year during the summer too. So
Yeah. What I don't understand though is like the Russia situation should not be affecting. That should not be the main reason that the gas prices are going up, because
I don't think it's the main reason, but it's definitely a factor.
it's
yeah.
a factor, but I think it's only like 5% of the oil comes from Russia. So why is it shouldn't, gas prices shouldn't be double what they were.
But I believe when the pandemic hit,
Mhm.
they stopped like mining and drilling gas
Mhm.
because they had so much of it.
Yeah,
So when 2020, I saw gas for like $1.11.
that's true.
When gas is
Where'd you
$1.11,
find that?
I don't know
Wait a
about it.
minute.
I saw maybe $1.50, $1.60.
I saw
I definitely
$1.11.
remember it was like $1.80 for sure.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you where I
Gas
saw it.
definitely cheap.
It's in Maryville or Hobart, whatever. That Sam's Club is like $1.11.
Oh,
during
Sam's
May.
Club.
You gotta
Okay.
go to Costco, man. That's where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I
I
guess
love
Sam's
Sam's
Club.
Club. I grew up on it. But yes, it was $1.11, and I took a picture of it. I think on my grandfather's phone or something. It's like $1.11 or $1.14,
Why your
something like.
grandfather's?
That's all the phone I had. But it's like $1.11 or like
Your
$1.14. I swear to God.
He's like, Grandpa, let me see your phone real quick.
I think my phone was dead or something. I don't know.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
But yeah, so gas is, everyone uses gas, so it's the
Not
whole.
those Tesla
I-
owners, man.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
Tesla
know.
owners are living. They're pulling up the gas stations making fun of us, man.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
guess.
They better hope it's not a like electrical wipeout or
Man, we
nothing.
were trying to go at least.
power
All
grid.
we want to do is get one episode without bringing up Tesla.
Ah,
But it's not going to be this
I
one.
killed it. Oh man.
Well, he already brought up Elon Musk, so
Did
it's
he?
already over. Yeah,
Did I?
yeah, you did.
When?
No, not
Did
on,
I?
not on the show.
Yes, you did.
Really?
Maybe
Brought up
before
Elon
we
Musk.
recorded. I don't know.
I don't.
No, you brought up
remember
Elon Musk.
I don't
it's
think
okay.
so.
It's okay.
that.
But
SpaceX. No, stop.
But yeah, I guess how you're saying. So during the pandemic, gas was $1.50, and how you said they had so much in supply, they probably stopped. They weren't going to get more, and then now it's kind of rebounded with everything else. That's why inflation, it hit all the industries, but it definitely hit gas really bad.
Man,
And
smacked it.
what's it called? Housing is another one that hit hard.
yeah,
And but that's another one that I think that where the demand is so I talked to a lot of people who say the demand is so high and the supply is still low, even though they keep building all these houses. And especially for our area where people are moving in from Illinois and stuff all the time. I mean,
well, more east, but yeah.
okay, well, I mean, I don't know if even the house prices can come down that much.
Nah.
I mean, it is kind of, it looks like a bubble, right? It looks like it's not sustainable. But at the same time, maybe it'll correct itself, but still the demand is far outweighs supply in that situation. So I think they're going to stay somewhat high.
Yeah, and just inflation as a whole just has been kind of
inflation,
wild.
Man,
so
I'm not gonna lie, those stimulus checks were good in the moment, but it definitely ruined everything in the long run because, like even now, because I wanted to get an apartment, but I'm looking at the prices of rent. You're better off paying a mortgage at this point because like you got 1-bedroom apartments like $850 to $900. You get a mortgage around that price if you put down a good down payment, you got good credit.
Right.
So it's like at this point, like you said, the supply is not going to meet the demand because you got people, migrating from Illinois and Chicago for cheaper prices, but they're, hiring or raising the prices because they're increasing the demand.
Yep.
So I don't know how long that'll last because I know it was the same thing with the car market. People are saying that it's going to be like that until like Q4 of 2023. Until those start coming back down in prices because you got people purchasing cars that are not even remotely worth what they're being sold for. Like you can
2003 Toyota Corolla, $3,000.
$3,000. You know what I'm saying? So 2021 Honda Accords are like $30,000 when that should have been like a $26,000 car.
Wow.
You drive it out, but I guess the only good thing is that even if you are paying a higher price, if you already purchased a car, your car is more valuable.
Yes,
now.
Exactly.
So I have a friend of mine. She had recently purchased like a 2021 Honda Civic back in April of last year. So and I think she paid like $19,000 for that car. Now that car is like
Even up,
$25,000.
She can sell it more.
So it's kind of helping people just as much as it's hurting them.
Yeah, but it's like we said
unless
before.
You're
It's
Josh.
like
yes,
like we said before.
Who didn't buy a car, but now he's buying a car.
I mean, like we said before, you just gotta, it kind of comes down to luck, like
luck and timing.
Luck and timing, like with me and the purchasing before the Last Dance, and people buying cars before.
Yeah, it is kind of
luck.
Luck definitely
plays a role in it.
It plays a part.
Let me know if you find a White Sox, Michael Jordan jersey or Barron's one. That's the one I want.
But I
not
think
the 45 on the back.
That's the one I want.
I would think that let's say for the car market that it should correct
itself.
It should correct over the next 6 months or however long it takes.
Hopefully, because I'm trying to get a new car. I'm not trying to.
We all need new cars. We all need new cars.
Everyone needs cars. Everyone needs houses. Everyone needs shoes. Don't forget that.
Especially shoes from Dicey.
Especially shoes, man.
Yeah.
But this is a great conversation we're having, fellas. But real quick break to pay the bill. Keep the lights on here at this place, here at Jet TV Network. Once again, this is Stock Talk with Josh and Nico. We'll be right back. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Stock Talk with Josh and Nico. Joined today by our guests. We are here for part 3, I guess, of this episode. So, Nico, I think today we should be honest with each other.
We should be honest.
Let's be honest about our companies.
Yes, and the honest company it shall be. So, honest company is owned or by Jessica
It started
Alba?
by Jessica Alba. She's not the CEO anymore, but she's still on the board.
So she's Jeff Bezos.
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Good for her.
And the whole point of her start, she started in 2012, I believe. Yeah, 2012 she founded the company, and she pretty much the point of the company was just to make products for its skin and hair products, its wipes and diapers, stuff like that. And the point is just to not have chemicals in the products, have more organic things. And so this is the stock I bought probably sometime last year, in the middle of last year. And this past Friday, they reported earnings, and the stock fell 22%.
Jesus.
Okay. They also sold sanitizers during the pandemic, and that gave a huge boost to their sales. And that's actually why the stock fell so much, was because the comps year over year look so bad, because revenue was barely up year over year because they had that huge boost from the pandemic, and those sanitizer sales weren't there this year. So this stock is down 80% in the past year. It topped out at it went IPO for $23 a share last year, and today it's $4. So my cost basis on this is about I want to say $7 or $8, somewhere in between there. So I'm down a significant amount, like 40% on this.
I thought you said you just bought it.
No, I bought more shares on Friday, but I owned this stock before. So yeah, I bought in. I don't know if I don't want to say I bought in too early, because the company's trading at a $400 million valuation, and they're doing $300 million in revenue for the last year.
That's
so
not bad, then.
it's such a low valuation right now that it looks like a really attractive deal. So Yeah, this is one. And the other positive things going for this stock is they announced a partnership with Walmart, both for online sales and in-store sales, and they also announced a partnership for later this year with Ulta Beauty. So they're in all the big retailers. They're in Target, and so
Target.
they also announced they're going to be probably raising their prices later this year. But yeah, I think this is I like this one. I like this company. I like their financials and everything.
And you said they sell diapers too, right?
They sell diapers, wipes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting because I don't have children, but I have little cousins.
Mm.
And most of the time with mothers, they're like very
Yeah, particularly
care.
about
They
about
care,
about
particularly
diapers
Yeah.
with the rashes, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be kind of weird to see how, with Honest, they'll be able to break the mold. Like, hey, let's not try Huggies or whatever, something else like that. Let's try some Honest diapers.
Bad, man.
So for
I'm just naming companies.
for some more perspective on this, here it says in 2016, the company was valued at $1 billion. And that was, how many years ago was that? 6 years ago, it was valued at $1 billion. Today it's trading at less than half of that after everything they've accomplished over the last 6 years. So another way of looking at it.
Put some money into marketing, man.
Put
I
some
never
money
heard
into
of
what?
it.
Oh,
It's
marketing? Yeah, you'll see it when you walk around Target and stuff. You see their products all over, but yeah, I don't know.
I've never seen a.
You haven't seen
ad
it?
or anything for Honest. No, I've seen them in store. Yeah.
But you haven't seen ads, yeah.
I've never seen whether
Yeah.
that's YouTube, Hulu, because people rarely watch TV. So I mean,
Yeah.
usually they're streaming something. But any medium I've used.
That's a good
I mean,
point.
maybe I'm not the target audience, obviously, but
Now because we're talking about it, it's gonna show up on our Instagram though.
yeah, they're always listening, of course.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But besides Honest, what's some other stuff you getting into?
Some other stocks?
Yeah. Since
Oh,
Roblox.
I know my other one that reported earnings the other day was Curiosity Stream. It's another.
I'm so proud of you.
Why?
Nico,
I'm so
go.
proud of you.
This is another one that's it's down a lot. It's down let's see, this one's probably worse. 76% on the year. This stock was $15 last year. Today it's $3. This is another one.
That's not funny, but it's funny.
This is this is another. It's funny. It's not funny when you own the stock.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I'm laughing at you only.
Oh man.
But I mean, this is one. I think my cost basis is probably about $8 on two, so I'm down over 50. Luckily for these smaller companies, though, when they're under $1 billion, look at this market cap. It's only 150 million.
Mm-hmm.
So for these small companies, I normally make them a very small position, like probably 2% of my money. So it's not the end of the world. But Curiosity Stream is this was started in 2015 by the founder of the Discovery Channel. So he left Discovery Channel, started this company, and they are the largest database of documentaries and factual content.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also bought out another company that owns thousands of the best college lectures across the country. They also have a service for that. So they're partnered with a lot of big companies. I know they're partnered with PlayStation, and I think they're on Roku. Mm-hmm. They're on all these different platforms where you can watch them on. So I really love the business model. They grew revenue 80% year over year. So they're growing very fast. And I don't know, the valuation is very low. It's $150 million market cap, and I think they have 23 million users. So this is another one that would probably fit like a Hail Mary stock pick. Let's
Okay.
probably be on that.
Well, here's the Hail
But-
Mary effect.
Okay.
Curiosity. But is there any stocks you've been looking into? If you haven't gotten into, but you're looking at?
I mean, me personally, no. I tried to dibble and dabble in stocks, man. I didn't know what in the world I was doing. I was like, oh well, I heard Twitter told me about this one. So basically, what in my situation,
You should have been listening to Stock Talk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I probably should have checked into the podcast a lot
Yeah.
earlier. But no, basically what I was doing is with the cardinal rule. I was chasing trend.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that was popular, say, at its peak, if I missed out, I was like, oh, well, let me try to get back into it. And hopefully,
Mhm.
praying, like you said, a Hail Mary, hoping that it goes back up. So same thing happened with GameStop. Same thing. I think BlackBerry was one. AMC I did.
I remember
Nokia.
you had Nokia.
Nokia, I did one with Tesla. I did one with obviously Dogecoin.
He should throw his money everywhere.
I was like, man, one of these gonna hit eventually.
Well,
man.
I think the thing is maybe for somebody like you that if let's say you're busy doing shoes and stuff and you're not interested or you don't have the time to.
Yeah, that was the thing though. It's like I would catch it at the tail end or the initial onset of me discovering it. I didn't believe in it, and then afterwards because like I said, like with shoes, it's tangible. Like I was
Yes.
saying, like I can have said item in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I know the value of this item, and I know I can make X amount of dollars from this item within whatever time frame. With something like that, it's intangible. I can't see it. Like I'm not saying I'm a person that needs to see to believe, but it's sad to say in those instances I would rather see to. And it was a little bit too late for me.
Yeah, I understand.
And plus, you
yeah.
probably were like that too because you got burned with
Yeah.
the Dogecoin too.
Well,
So that
see,
could probably affect you too. Like, man,
Yeah, 100%.
oh, so this is going up. I can't lose it like how I did Dogecoin.
I mean,
Yeah.
what I'm getting at here is I think maybe let's say if you're not interested or you don't have the time to research, then probably investing like in an index fund, like me and Josh always talk about. Like if you just invest in Nasdaq or the QQQ is actually the one that has the best returns. Even though they all track the same market, the QQQ is actually up more than the Nasdaq past 5 years.
Yeah.
But so something like that is because that way you don't have to do anything. You can just invest money into that, however much you want.
Yeah.
And then it grows over time, but you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, and I feel like a big part of it, not only chasing trends, I was chasing what my friends were doing. Because,
right.
like I said, my one of my guys that I used to work with at Target, I think he's 20 now, if that. He's 19. Like, in the midst of everything, any like thing you would deem as like the perfect choice, he did that throughout every single instance. Like,
God bless him.
throughout Dogecoin, he invested. I think maybe $1,000 made. Like I told you, he made 10,000. Then he took all of that money invested in GameStop, made 20,000. He took all of that money and reinvested back into Doge. And so right before the Elon Musk episode, and then, that's what okay.
Yeah.
I did bring
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Oh,
right.
okay, yes, you did bring that up, right.
Right before
That's
the,
why you bought into it. He told you about the 10,000. He's like 10,000.
I was like, I might have to, man. But yeah, like, and then he went from there, and then he left shortly after that. He stopped selling shoes, and then when NFTs dropped, he strictly was focusing on that. And I know he made at least $100,000
Oh my
at
God.
the age of 19, and I was like, yeah, I need to figure out what he's doing and
That's
get into
crazy.
that. So, yeah, but I mean, that was, same situation, chasing trends, because I know over the summer going into Q4, maybe around November, that's when like from July to like November, NFTs were booming. Bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
And they still kind of are.
They still are, obviously,
But the wave kind of
yeah,
dialed down a little
it's
bit.
the same thing. It's just like the trend is still down, but people who really know about the space are obviously operating at higher efficiencies than someone like me who's like, oh, let me just jump in.
more people know about an NFT now than they did say last year.
because back
Yeah.
then, same situation. Like I told you, like OpenSea. Like I found OpenSea before they even had an app, when it was just a website that you had to go to, that you had to make a separate account to log into. So stuff like that, but. Yeah, it's pretty amazing how far the internet and NFTs and whatever medium that you want to get into in regards to investing can really take you. Because seeing him, as a colleague of mine, a friend of mine, we were in the same space, and to see him do something like that, that just motivated me.
Yeah.
It shows you that something like that is possible. And that's all that I really try to focus on. I'm not the type to be upset with someone's success. I champion all my friends if they're successful, like 100%. Like. In the shoe space, like I got a guy who's got his own shop in Chicago on the South Side. He's got his own repair shop. He just offered me a job to work with him. I got my friend Tay that I told you. His boy. He's 19, 20 years of age. Got
That's what I
two
wanted.
different shops. He's selling
Jesus.
shoes and all types of stuff and clothes. So.
Read that price out real
That's
quick.
cheap.
What is that?
That's cheap. These are cheap.
So,
These
read
are
the
not,
price out for the audience.
These are not $250,000. Okay, so we're on OpenSea.com right now, and I looked up the number one NFT, of course,
Bored
is
Ape Yacht Club.
the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and it says there's 10,000 of them. It says there's 6.4 thousand owners of these, and there's one here that you can get for 0.68 ETH, which is
What's that little?
That's like 50.
that's like $1,900, $2,000.
It's like $2,000.
Really?
Yeah, that's it.
Because
See
it
what I
was trading
mean?
at 31, so yeah. Yeah, no, probably like 1,700, 1,800.
That's not bad. That's so these are actually affordable.
I'm about to give me one.
Now see this one.
102 ETH.
That one's 102 ETH. You see,
Oh my goodness.
or
Oh, yeah,
like
I'm
look
getting
at and it'll tell you the price action. So this was last one was 92 ETH, and then now it's 103 ETH.
Yeah, there's a lot of what do you call them? Whales, I think they call them, like in the industry. Same thing with shoes. It'll be like celebrities that'll purchase things that are like $20,000 or $350,000.
Yeah.
There. So this bid is for $325,000.
Because you guys know Steve Aoki, right?
Yeah.
Like he's a real prominent figurehead in the NFT space. Like he was.
Oh,
buying
really?
Up
I didn't know
he
that.
was
He
buying
got
up a
into-
lot of them, like a lot of expensive ones, like $200,000 plus NFTs from the Board Ape Yacht Club.
Here's the price history. So we have.
Is that 6 months ago?
This was May. It was half a ETH. Today it's 63 ETH.
That's what I'm saying.
Interesting.
Like, man.
Well,
what a missed opportunity.
I'm about to cop one.
Hey,
I feel like it's gonna go down though. I feel like it's gonna go down a little
I
more.
mean, that's what, I mean. I'm a real conservative person when it comes to investing. I'm not the risk taker. I'm not gonna take 70, 50, even
yeah. How about this
you know,
one, Josh?
a big bulk of what I have to invest.
Why don't you buy that?
What
one?
is that? What is that number?
That's 100 million. That's a billion. That's 313 trillion or something. That's more money
That's what's that? 3, 6, 9, 12.
That can't be real
That's
life.
14 zeros.
so it's more. I think it's more than a trillion.
Yeah,
That's more.
definitely
more
more.
that's
a
more,
gazillion.
That's more money that's on the planet.
Yeah, that's more money than Bezos. I'll tell you that.
Not more money to me.
There, now so that must be like an outlier,
Josh is priceless.
because this is This is probably a real one. This is 59 million right there, owned by Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy Lee, give me your stuff.
Who?
This is all the stuff he owns.
Jimmy Lee is balling.
Yeah, this guy must be a billionaire.
Got to be, man. I feel like you get to a point you just spend your money. Just see if I can make more. See what
Interesting.
happens.
Very interesting. Well, I think that's a good way to end the show.
Yeah.
Shout out Jimmy Lee. Hooking
Man,
it up at the end.
Shout
I hope
out
you're listening.
Dicey Kicks, man.
Shout out Dicey
Yeah,
Kicks,
shout out to
man.
Dicey Kicks.
If you guys need any sneaker needs, Jordans, Yeezys, even Saucony, I sell running shoes too. if you
Use
want.
code StockTalk for 10% off.
10% off.
On your sale.
Guaranteed on your next purchase.
So my favorite Jordan is probably the threes. So you got some threes,
I
size
got
12.
You, Josh. We can talk more after the podcast.
You see,
I'll
this is
hook
why I
it up
like.
for you,
This is
man.
why he's friend of the show.
Exactly.
But besides that,
Got to get in where you fit in, man.
but Nico, you got anything else to add?
That's it. That's
All
it.
right, for sure.
All right, so y'all, this concludes this episode 27 of Stock Talk with Josh and Nico. So y'all have a good one.
Woo!
My name's Josh, and we out.